That's right. I forgot to ask the staff on the other side of the glass here, what are your thoughts on the Hulk Hogan-Gawker trial? So what happened was that Gawker has been ordered to pay $115 million to Hogan for a violation of his privacy. I mean, this is just the scourge of our culture on trial here. Everything about it, there's nothing redeemable about this at all, except the argument that it put forth, and that is freedom of the press versus the right to privacy. And the press took a huge hit on this. Now, many people, what do you mean, Rush? Gawker's not there. Yes, it is. Gawker's media, Gawker's the press. Gawker is the one place in the world with no morality. Absolutely zilch, zero, no morality. And they don't have $115 million. If this holds up, they're out of business. I don't know how they can stay around. I know the jury is meeting today to actually get to the penalty phase. The first award was $115 million, and it can be trebled. Who knows what? I mean, you reach a point where not even, what do they have, 50, 60 million I read that they've got, they took a loan or something. I mean, you can wipe them out. No matter what happens. And what's fascinating about this is a jury of people in Tampa, Florida, which dropped the hammer on the media and said, no, you don't have the right to publish that kind of thing about anybody without their permission or whatever. And you ought to see some of the reaction out there. You've got even some conservative blogs are supporting Gawker while not defending Gawker. They're thinking, oh, my goodness, this is horrible. This is the worst thing that could have happened for the media. And other people are celebrating it because they just like the media, whoever it is up on the chopping block, actually getting blunt force trauma thrown right at them. So it's fascinating to see how this plays out. Anyway, folks, Sturdley. See, Sturdley is trying to steer me into providing you the details of the case, acting like he doesn't know. Well, Rush, what were the details? Well, it involves a shock jock in Tampa by the name of Bubba the Love Sponge, and his best friend, the estimable and brilliant Hulkster Hogan of the WWE. And what happened was that the Love Sponge decided to let Hulkster Hogan have sex with his wife. And Bubba taped it. Bubba videotaped it without, apparently, the knowledge of Hulkster Hogan. I know it's Hulk Hogan. I'm trying to dress this up as best I can. So anyway, somebody sent Gawker the video of Hulkster Hogan having sex with the wife of the Love Sponge. And apparently everybody involved except the Hulkster knew that it was happening. Well, I don't know about the Love Sponge's wife. No longer, by the way, is she the Love Sponge's wife. You didn't know that? No, she's gone somewhere. So Gawker got hold of the video and they ran it on their website. Gawker is 7 different websites. Gizmodo is Gawker. The Gawker empire, just the best way to describe them is no morality. And anything gets close to morality, they're not interested in it. The more immoral, the more perverse, the more fascinated they are with it. There were no boundaries. There were no limits. So then the Hulkster decided to sue Gawker for invasion of privacy, that this was highly embarrassing to him, despite the fact that the Hulkster has been known to go everywhere and talk about his sex life. But still the jury decided, well, the Hulkster didn't know about this instance, and we're not passing judgment on what he did. And we're just saying the media did not have the right to publish that video without the Hulkster's permission. It's really what it came down to. Not being a public figure did not absolve Gawker here at all. Being a public figure did not allow Gawker the privilege of publishing the video, which Hulkster Hogan said just destroyed him. It ruined his self-esteem, made him a joke. It embarrassed him. All of these things. So the jury returned the verdict on Friday. It was a 2 or 3 week trial, and the jury's verdict came in guilty, Gawker, civil action, decided for the Hulkster, and it was $100 million that Hulkster Hogan was asking for. The jury said, no, let's make it 115. And they did, and that's before we get to the actual penalty phase, which is the application of even more damages. I don't know if the judge can reduce this on his own. He probably can at some point. But anyway, the Gawker guys, in preparation for this, went out and tried to secure all kinds of money in anticipation, not that they expected to, but in case they lost, they wanted to have some pool to be able to pay this. They're going to appeal it. They claim that a couple of very relevant items of evidence were excluded in this case, that they believe once they are included, they will prevail. So, but throw out the details, and what you have here is 14th Amendment versus First Amendment. Freedom of the press versus a right to not. I don't want anybody tinfoil hatting. I know there's no right to privacy specifically written in the Constitution. It is assumed by many because of the Fourth Amendment, the right against obtrusive searches and seizures and so forth. But clearly the media takes it on the chin here, to the extent that the rest of the media identifies with Gawker, but they are. I mean, they have websites, they publish news and pictures and commentary. It probably wasn't helpful that the former CEO of Gawker was asked, when he was testifying, he was asked, is there any limit? Hulkster Hogan's lawyer asked, is there any limit to what you won't publish? Is there any sex tape out there that Gawker would not publish? And this guy said, yeah, probably if it was a 4-year-old baby, we wouldn't publish it. That probably was not helpful. Apparently the Gawker CEO was sort of a smug, arrogant, in-your-face kind of. These guys all walk around with chips on their shoulders for one thing or another. So we shall see what happens next in this. But it's going to be a subject for law school debate, law school teaching classes, and so forth as time goes forward.